Welcome to On Air with Odin, Gamemastering Pathfinder Dragonfall. It has been 2 weeks, but it was Kiki's birthday last week, so we decided to not force her to be here. So thought we'd skip. She's also at a con today, but we have enough people here to play a game anyway. So now we're coming to you live at the Mayovic house, or the burning embers of the Mayovic house.
What we didn't destroy of the Mayovic house.
Pretty much, it's just a big hole with a lot of burning embers inside of the basement. Or what was the basement.
We're so gonna get tried for arson.
I think I will. It was me.
On the plus side, I think we can now just intimidate the other vampires. Don't hand us your orbs. We'll do to you what we did to Mayovic.
Do you think they put people in prison, or they're just gonna try to eat me even if I'm not edible?
So, also, we defeated the Minotaur guard, who then became an undead, dread Minotaur kind of creature. And the vampire we injured at the point that he ran away. We also now have one of the Spheres of Annihilation. And Tom, I believe, has the Rod of Cancellation.
Mm-hmm.
Though the Talisman of the Sphere, we imagine to still be being worn by the vampire. And resume. Time start.
So, Tom, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay. That just was really, really kind of scary.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you know, you're only up in a tower that was falling with a ball that could probably eat you.
I had my parachute with me.
Still though. Well, now what?
Maybe we should go to the next one.
Next one. What was the next one?
The church?
How lovely. Well, if we're going to go, we might as well go.
Fuck.
Hopefully we won't have to burn down the church.
I'm just concerned that we're going to get in trouble for this one.
Tuffy is basically just kind of cuddling Bruiser right now and kind of just apologizing for shooting him in the butt. She does look up for a bit there and going, I really want to kill some vampires, but what about that thing? She kind of points to the Sphere of Annihilation.
I don't think you can kill that thing.
I'm afraid we're gonna have to leave that behind until we find the other one, and then bring the other one, because we cannot move it.
Yeah, the only bad thing is, though, is if we leave it here, then that guy's probably just going to come back and be like, oh, I'm taking this now.
True. And I feel you're not the kind of party who likes to split up.
Generally, it's a bad idea to do that.
Understood.
Considering how the vampire here managed to turn half of us against
Did Ben cut out again?
He did a little bit, yeah.
For pity's sake.
Oh, there he is. No, he's here.
Okay, he said that considering that the vampire here managed to turn half of them against each other, it'd probably be a good idea to not split up.
I wonder what would happen if we tried to just bury the sphere of annihilation.
I think it would eat any dirt that we throw on it.
What if we made a tent?
A tent with a sign outside of it that says, "Danger, do not approach." You know, if we make it sound convincing, I suppose.
Well, it could be a tent, and then we put dirt in the tent. Then it looks like a tiny mound of something. And then when people... No, wait. People would try to dig it up and get eaten. No, that's not good. Okay,
The sphere is just sitting there, silently being a hole.
How come it's not going through the ground yet?
Well, much like
Yeah.
Sorry, wait, no, that was...
I would say because it's a hole in 3 dimensions, not 2. It's basically a tame black hole.
I thought it was a sphere. Not a circle.
Yeah, it is a globe of absolute blackness 2 feet in diameter. That's as much as you can tell from just looking at it.
Maybe,
Hashtag black globes matter.
maybe whoever created those things knew it was a bad idea to create something that would just annihilate the planet. Failsafes?
That's what's on my back.
Eh?
Tom taps the rod on his back.
That's one of them.
I can't use it to move it, I can only use it to destroy it.
And that's a problem because Jack is in there. So do we just camp here or do we try to move on and try to do it quick?
What would be the point of anyone trying to steal the orb? If they touch it, they'll be destroyed.
What if the guy kept the amulet? He must have an idea.
Then he would move it to somewhere where he would have to go, which would be his allies, which is where we'd be headed towards.
Then we can go then. Besides, they won't be able to blackmail. I mean, to tell us they're gonna destroy them because we have one of the staffs to. Like, they won't be able to destroy it.
Just gotta worry about them running off with it is all. But with some luck, if they go towards their ally, then, you know, that'll be an advantage for us.
So you're saying we need to take a gamble?
Kind of looking that way.
Oh, I don't like luck. But I'm not seeing anything else.
As an aside, this is Jen's reaction to the entire thing burning up.
Hmm?
Odin, you probably wouldn't want to click on it for the stream.
No, god damn it.
He already clicked.
I did, but I just closed the tab. Roll a perception check.
Oh no.
Those who are investigating the sphere.
Okay, perception 6.
Perception? Perception! Point at the sphere. I'm looking in you!
17. Nice.
Roll d20 plus 9. Lucky.
Kiki's not looking at the sphere. She's too distracted with apologizing to Bruiser.
She did kind of stab him in the butt with an arrow.
Is you rolling Tal, or are you not looking at it?
I was looking up the numbers,
Ah, okay, fair enough.
and I'm blind as well. Oh, maybe not. Okay.
Well, damn.
Yeah, I missed her.
That's right. We forgot to do that. I'm sorry, Tal.
It's okay.
Forgot to update your sheet.
It's okay. I can use an old sheet for now.
But hey, look at that awesome roll you had.
Yeah, it's still an awesome roll.
Yeah. Okay, so Tom and Saphira only see very slight blemishes in the absolute blackness. Genevieve actually sees some form of shape moving inside of it. Sageheart, however, can actually see a face and what seems like eyes looking out from it.
What is that?
I think it's more, who is that?
Eh?
Looks like a person.
She also notices that there seems to be a wisp of white that is sticking out one side of the sphere, as if a tether that's keeping whoever's inside from being completely consumed.
I think that's their lifeline. I'll indicate it to them. Do we try pulling them out?
Well, you notice it seems to be, at least from your best knowledge of the city, it seems to be pointing towards where you imagine the church is, across the other side of the city.
Well, either we're being given directions, or somebody's going to get their ass blown up. And not by me.
Alright, well. Tom, any ideas?
If we have to go, let's go.
Onward! Stomp.
Alright, so you're just going to make your way around the burning wreckage. And off to meet up with an old friend, as it were. Okay, so it takes a long time to get across the city, but the first thing you notice is that once you're outside the walls of this estate, as it were, quite a few people have gathered to watch the fire, and they are muttering things to one another and looking at you.
Whistling innocently. I cannot whistle.
Despite the looks you are getting, none of them seem intent to try and stop you. And you make your way across the entire city until you come across Queen's Chapel.
Oh no, there's people. What is that church? What was I expecting?
Not vampires.
Well, considering where we are,
Fair point.
I need to get my voice box checked.
Oh, I thought I already pasted you guys in this map. Oh, never mind. You're right.
Did you do? Yeah, there's 3 seats.
Cape.
Cape pasta.
Past
Copy
you.
paste out.
Capi pasta.
Delicious copy pasta.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fortunately, this structure is mostly stone, so I don't think we're going to be burning it down,
I
even
did.
by accident.
What?
There you go. I'm
Oh.
just putting you in a rough formation.
Over you. Yeah.
Tom is just going to go right up to the door and knock.
Oh, the doors are open. It's just the map. Because church seems to be in session.
Okay, well, then he's just going to walk on in. Hands not near his weapons.
As you walk
Yeah,
in,
he's-
Whoops.
Sorry.
you hear the tone of the preacher suddenly change to a shriek.
Do I what now?
A shriek.
That doesn't sound good.
Behold, that which I had warned you about this very day, and had foretold their coming. The death dealers that plague our city, and wish to reunite the tyrant Jack with his self, and reinstate his rule over us. I'm not gonna try a female voice, and you see there's just a woman up here ranting and raving. There seems to be many different species of creature in here. Not always obvious at first glance, but some of them, of course, pretty clearly lichens.
Oh, obviously we came at a bad time.
There's no such thing as a good time for us to be here. At this point, Tom actually pulls down his mask. Yes, he's going barefaced in front of them.
Le gasp.
The gasp indeed.
Now what will you do, people? Will you let them walk in here, slay me, slay my dear friend, and bring back Jack? Or will you stand and fight with us against them? Stand and serve us, and if you fall, then you will be blessed with a great afterlife, knowing you have died for a great cause. And she's kind
Why
of...
would we want to kill you?
Can I roll the diplomacy?
Wait. Tom is visible to all these guys, so he's just calmly taking his katana off of his belt, setting it on the ground, just taking all of his weapons off, including the 15 kunai. And then he spreads his hands, palms out.
Look at the trickery he is attempting, trying to appear as if he is a friend to us. When he and his friends have almost nearly slain dear Mahalvik here.
Fuck all.
And they're all just kind of like rubble.
I come offering peace. All we want are the spheres. You can have your rods back if you want them.
The spheres are what we protect these people from. We have trapped the tyrant within them. It is not peace you want by having them back. It's not peace that you will make by bringing him back.
Who said that we need to release Jack within the city?
Roll a diplomacy check.
Okay, let me see what my diplomacy is at.
And if applicable, bluff check.
Okay. They're both at 8, so I'll roll them both. Why not?
Well, I thought diplomacy was to be convincing and bluff was to lie.
It is, but I'm not sure which. That's why I said if applicable.
Fair enough.
Low rolls.
I see through your attempts to sway us like I gaze through water.
It is still a possibility. Just because one party wants him gone and the other wants him back does not mean there cannot be negotiations. Or do you fear my words so much that you wish me silenced before before we have our say?
We don't want to kill anyone.
One of the rather well-dressed men at the front stands up and goes, "Let him speak!" And she growls a little bit. And then sort of everybody else kind of chimes in, sort of, "Let them speak, they have not harmed us so far. We only have your word for what they have done."
We are travelers to your town. We have no desire to see it destroyed or saved. We only wish to pass through in peace, and if that means getting Jack away from you, or towards another power base, then so be it. However, our goal is greater than this city. We seek a way to destroy the great dragon.
What?
The one that destroyed the world ages before.
We care not for such things. Those are problems of the outside world. We, here in Nibelheim, have our own problems to deal with. For the rest of the world, simply wishes to either destroy us or speak ill of us. That is all the outside world cares for us.
How long do you think it will be before the dragon comes to Nibelheim, after he has destroyed everything else?
Well, with the blood moon up high and the thick clouds that protect this place from the sun itself, I do not think some flames would be able to do
You speak
much.
of a world destroyer and assume your town is safe? You are no more safe than the hobbit towns in the hills.
Should I bring up the fact that I burnt the house by accident?
What I wish is only to leave you in peace.
Not actually here to hurt anyone.
Okay, where did I cut off again?
I don't think it did, Ben.
No, I don't think you did. Well, step forward then, all of you. We can talk. Mehelvik stands up and goes, "After what they did to my house, you wish to speak with them?"
I'm sorry!
You should know better than to send someone hot down into your basement when you haven't cleaned it.
I was dealing with more pressing matters before getting anyone to try and restore my home, though it's a bit beyond that now.
Well, want. It just needs restored a little more thoroughly. Sorry.
I'm still sorry.
Mehalovic, sit down. I will discuss with them. Perhaps there is something we can do. She turns back to you, and she steps down from the, whatever this thing's called in churches.
Diocese?
No, that's an area. Rostrum?
Is that what it's called? The raised
Don't know.
platform that they speak from? I forget.
I thought it was the pulpit.
Oh, yeah. That might be it.
Sounds familiar.
Pulpit.
At least that's what they call it in the Catholic Church. So.
Blah, 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 blah.
Anywho,
I think we've just thoroughly proved we're all a bunch of heathens.
Fucking heathens and their fun.
I really didn't mean to burn the basement. It's just, oh boy.
Then what is it you are suggesting?
One side wishes Jack only returned from his imprisonment.
You cut out, man.
God.
Thank you.
Now you're back.
One side wishes Jack gone. Is this not correct?
Yes, we feel that this town does not need the likes of him to be safe and work well and have a good life for everyone.
Very well. Tell me your story so that I may understand.
Well, we arrived rather shortly after Nimbleheim was founded, and for a time we thought the peace was nice, and the protection that had been established here was also quite acceptable, but as the years went on, and the price of this luxury was becoming all the more grating. Such as the rations. And everyone sort of just grumbles at that, you know.
Are not rations meant for the betterment of all, so that none may starve?
No matter how many are served each day, we always see that there is always more to give, yet we see none of it. I have found out that this magic that produces the flesh and the source of the blood is never ending. So why should it be limited to its usage?
Does the magic wane with each use?
Not that I have noticed, but these are things that we were planning to investigate further on.
Then it sounds as if you at least have a plan. Do you have a backup in case the magic fails?
At this present moment, no, but we are in the early stages of checking what we are dealing with, as it were. We were not even allowed to access where the flesh is grown for our consumption, as it was forbidden by Jack.
I see. Very well. Our party requires going to an ancient mage's tower to recover some books. From what I understand, the mage's tower is as far to the north as we have gone, past your city.
I know not which tower you speak of, but my mind has been focused on local matters as of late.
Apparently, Jack and his assistant have knowledge of this tower. Perhaps if we were to take them with us.
If you were to take them from this city and release them, all they would do is return once they have spoken to you, if they have not destroyed you.
This is quite true. This is of course assuming that we do not. This is of course assuming that we do release them, or that we do not convince them to another path.
Convincing Jack is a very difficult thing. We had tried the more diplomatic approach before this whole nasty business, but it was not received well.
Maybe you would listen to outsiders.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scoff there. It was a reflex reaction, because if he does
It's
not
okay.
talk, he does not listen to his own people, then I see no reason as to why he would listen to outsiders.
You would be surprised.
Three of us are from the great dragon itself. The fourth is newborn.
Heyo.
Yes, I have not seen a relic in so much time that, well, I am just surprised to see one, especially one that's not covered in filth and erosion.
I take care of myself.
I know none who have the knowledge to even create a relic these days. But, it's a curiosity that perhaps I can discover another time.
Ancient wisdom can be found in many unexpected places.
Unfortunately, I've been in the city so long, I do not know if I could handle the natural sun of the outside world any longer.
Let me offer you this. We take Jack with us and his assistant. And, if we fail, then you at least have time to prepare your defenses against him and recapture him.
Do you not know how much time it took to just simply get a hold of one of these spheres of annihilation, let alone two? And the words of cancellation to keep with us in case that there is such a dire situation that Jack would be needed. Though I do not foresee anything that would require such drastic action.
I do believe the dragon that threatens the world might be something that requires Jack's attention. After all, it is only a matter of time until the dragon wakes fully, and then the world will burn again. And it has many minions across the globe.
She kind of pauses and looks to the sphere. I am not convinced, but it does not mean that I reject any offer you make. I am simply hesitant to give up my own life in releasing him. Because I know that at least one part of him will not be in a discussing mood once released.
As you can no doubt tell, we have a paladin among us. A paladin of Iomide. Are you familiar with their creed?
Yes, and I'm sure that everyone who is familiar with that such creed is on edge right now. For knowing Iomide, that I'm very surprised she is not trying to wave through all of us with her blade.
She is a paladin of justice. It would be unjust to simply slaughter all of you, with no cause.
Oh, you say that, but the amount of holy crusaders we have had to deal with in this city, it is not exactly a pleasant occurrence. When we are judged simply by what we are rather than what our actions do.
And that's hardly true justice, is it?
Oh, whoops. Okay. Never mind.
I stress balled a gem. Yeah, that sounds about right.
What say you, Paladin? What do you think of this
stressful.
situation?
What?
Stressful.
I mean, well, I agreed to come along, and because, well, like you said, I mean, people are judged by their actions and not what they are. So that's why I'm here.
Hmm. That is
Is that
the,
not what justice is?
that is the most intelligent interpretation of justice that I've heard from a paladin yet. Some are
Aren't you
merely
ju-
blinded by their faith and don't think for themselves.
Sadly, I feel those that are blinded by their faith can be just as bad, if not worse, than. I'm probably digging myself into a hole here, aren't I? This is out of character.
It can be worse than
Like-
the hole I made. Oh,
Can be just as bad as creatures like us, you mean?
That was out of character, Odin.
No, that's why she's responding to where she stopped in character and then you went out of character.
Well, what I meant to say was as bad as those who actually do evil.
Mm. Yes, like since you cut yourself off with ROC there, I was like having her kind of cut in with her response to where you stopped.
No, that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry if it came off like that.
So you wish to take these spheres of ours and take them out of the city and then try and find some way to communicate with the various sides of Jack, or release them and speak to Jack himself once he is together again, and expect that he will not just return here to restore his reign.
It seems to me that we would have an entire carriage ride to convince him without releasing him, and if necessary, release him within the Archmage's tower.
You do know that you cannot communicate with those who are held within a sphere of annihilation. The fact that he wasn't entirely destroyed is something we thought may happen, but we had hoped that they would just destroy him entirely like any other creature would be.
Any idea just how he's keeping himself alive? Because it is a bit odd.
We're not sure. All that I have noticed, and Yahavik has noticed, is that there seems to be a tie between the two sides that is pulling towards one another and therefore not having him entirely consumed by the sphere.
That's odd.
We're not sure exactly how to deal with it right now. We had wondered what might happen if we allow the two spheres to come into contact with one another, but there are so many things that may possibly happen that we think that just letting them be here for now would be the safest measure.
Yeah, I think if we did that, we probably want to choose a well-open area outside of the city so nobody here gets sucked in.
Another reason to bring them to the Mage Tower. If nothing else, for safe experimentation.
You do also know the very violent reaction that using the Rod of Cancellation on the Sphere of Annihilation would actually cause, don't you?
The one who requested our aid seemed to have forgotten to have mentioned that. Perhaps she was simply ignorant, or perhaps she was hoping we would be destroyed. I cannot say.
Oh, are you speaking of the girl, or Ophelia?
The girl with the talent with dolls, yes.
She is but a child. There's no way she actually knows what would happen when these objects come into contact, so
She is the one who requested our help in the first place.
You can hear a gasp in the crowd, and they kind of look around. It's sort of like,
Well, she was just a messenger.
it was Marjolaine who brought you here, then. I did not think her strong enough to project herself outside of the city.
She made it about 3 days' travel before finally collapsing.
She must
Then
truly
we-
think that Jack is the only thing that can keep this place safe.
As I said, I am offering to take her as well.
You cannot take her. She is... She pauses. She is important to the city.
Not to mention the state that she's in, I don't think there is any way we can actually move her.
I've seen that bed. It won't fit in the tank anyway.
You mean the carriage?
Eh.
Are you familiar with my kind of people?
Well, by your garb, well... Depends. Your kind of people seem to differ from clan to clan.
Have you ever heard of the Dragon Clan?
Heard, yes. Experienced the pleasure of company with, no.
You have now.
Well, so far it's been a rather respectable occurrence.
We were the clan who went into the dragon to ensure the safety of all. I give you my word, I will try to make sure that this city is safe from whatever threatens it, as long as I am capable of doing so. That is, after all, the point of my mission.
Quite a noble mission. We are talking in circles. We have discussed what the requirements are for you to leave here and leave us well alone. But we seem to continue to get off topic.
Then what would you have of me?
I know no way in which you could communicate with the two sides of Jack without releasing him. Which leads me to believe that if I allowed you to take him, he would simply be released. So that you may discuss with him your own needs. At the same time, I'm trying to be as diplomatic as possible, despite the distaste that it is leaving in my friend's mouth here. But I fear that allowing you to take Jax in his pieces may be too much of a risk. But you say that you require him for your mission.
If nothing else, to allow a safe passage towards the Archmage's tower. However, I have an idea.
Go on.
The Archmage's tower provides much wisdom, much knowledge, some of which we need, some of which you might need. I propose keeping Jack here until we have traveled to the tower and back. Perhaps we will find a way to help both sides. And if you wish to have a representative come with us to ensure that we keep our word, I am more than willing to acquiesce.
Hmm. Now that is an idea. Yet again, you asked that I would send someone with you. Well, I do not know if we would be willing to leave the city for such a long period of time. Because they have their needs that may not be seen to outside of this city. Not to mention, with the lack of protection from the sun, I have no idea who may be able to survive such a journey.
Lack of protection from the sun? In our vehicle?
I have not seen your vehicle.
It's a
Perhaps
metal
you should.
box.
It is as much a fortress as this town. We prepared for the worst in case we came across nothing or worse in the wastes.
You see Mahalvik come up behind the other vampire and lean in to whisper to her. She sighs deeply. And what is to say that you will not simply slay whoever we send with you the moment you're out of this city, so that you may continue unobserved? All of these solutions are a bit complicated and require some risk on our part, as would we be able to convince you to simply leave alone without the spheres and leave
Yeah.
us to our business?
Your fate is tied with the world. I would have to return here regardless. Leave without the spheres? Yes, I can do that. Not come back? I cannot.
But can your comrades
It
do
would-
this?
He looks to the others.
He made me shoot my own dog. I'm super pissed at you and kind of super pissed at you, Tom, for trying to discuss with these things. But, I'm just an angry mess right now.
Personally, I think we should ask the assistant and Madeline. I feel like we're in some political stuff. Oh boy.
Yes, of course, Ophelia would not have an audience with us to discuss such things. It's been rather difficult to try and get access to any of Jack's archives due to her protection of the place. She is almost as unreasonable as Jack is when it comes to the workings of the city. the fact that I know of Marjolaine pissed her off to no end.
Well, Marjorie is, I don't want to be impolite, but she's a source of food, so...
Everyone in the hall just kind of looks at you when you say that.
Never mind.
What did she mean by that? Speaks up one of them.
That's nothing.
Paladin facepalm.
Nothing. I'm sure she meant something entirely different to what she actually said. Marjolaine is just that animated doll girl that we all know and love. She is not food. She is not anything of the sort.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Shit.
Look is gonna be silent for the rest of this.
I get the feeling none of us have the full picture.
Yeah, kind of getting that impression myself.
Tom pulls the rod off his back. As a gesture of good faith, I will give this back to you. May we try and attempt a diplomatic meeting between both sides.
You can attempt such things if you wish, but whether or not they'll listen is entirely different.
All I ask is that you are willing to listen and negotiate.
One second. Okay. Not entirely sure I believe you. Speaks up the noble gentleman at the front to the vampire, the female speaking to you. Well, I assure you that I speak the truth. I'm sure that she simply was thinking of a different girl, perhaps.
Get out. You cut out for a second after I assure you.
Oh, I did? Did I cut out
Did
for
me.
everybody?
No.
Huh.
Actually, for a moment there, I thought you said get out. It's like, what?
Yeah. I assure you there is no reason to be distrusting of my words. I have not steered you wrong so far, have I?
Then accept the rod.
No, he was speaking. She was speaking to the gentleman who spoke up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom has the rod out and basically offering it.
She steps forward and she reaches out to take it.
Tom lets her.
All right. Well. I hate to bring this up, but I'm sure that my good friend is not going to allow you to leave without addressing such, but about the restoration of his home. This will cost a great deal to get done.
Then we owe him a boon.
A boon! He yells.
Do we look like we have lumber and stonework?
He just kind of whips his cape and turns around and goes sit back down.
Genevieve was just sitting there thinking, oh god, I'm sorry about the door, but damn. Oh, at this point, doors, I guess.
Why don't we... Why don't we just... And she like snaps him a look and he just shuts up. Handling them just fine on my own. I don't see why you are giving them such courtesy after what they did.
Sapphire ain't saying shit.
Well, perhaps their more calm approach has maybe wanting to see what they may do if given the chance. So I have the rod now. So you can just leave of your own accord. I will not stop you, and perhaps when you return, you may find some things of value which may help the funds that to restore the home that was destroyed.
We will return with news. Thank you for your courtesy.
You see these three, well the male stands up first and the women seem to follow him, and he gets up and he heads to, oh god damn it, get on the grid, there you go. And he kind of steps forward and goes, excuse me, me and my family wish to leave.
Oh,
Tom steps aside.
Okay, he just heads through. Oh, he's gone kind of wonky.
So, anybody tally up just exactly how much damage that was and how much that cost?
The home itself was designed, says the other McElvick as he stands up to approach you. The architect behind my home has long since passed due to unfortunate circumstances.
He got staked, didn't he?
In this city? No, of course not.
Oh, well, I just thought... You know what? Never mind. I'm digging myself into a hole here. Anyway, continue.
Being able to try and recreate his designs will be extremely difficult. Especially since his original paper plans have decayed over the years. As unfortunately paper is still rather unreliable in lasting a very long time.
Oh, I understand that completely.
So, wait, what?
just a side note.
Well, how do I want to put this? I had to pay the architect 100,000 gold just for his plans. Construction materials and the work to be done was not as expensive as that. But the price to try and have these plans recreated after so long, without the original architect able to make sure it's done right, will cost a lot more than the original architect itself. Probably 10 times that amount, I would imagine.
Okay, so the plans themselves, they still exist, but they're just deteriorated, right?
Practically dust by this point.
Well, that's not a whole lot to work with. If it wasn't dust, I could probably see what I can decipher.
Well, it's also whether or not they survive the fire.
Hey, Agent Eve.
You just see her eye twitch a little bit, and it's like you stored them in the
They're in
house?
the basement, sealed within their own case, so it is possible that they will be recoverable.
The basement that was full of spider webs and other flammable materials.
Yes, but the case itself was not made of a flammable material.
Then it may have survived.
May yet.
Do you mind if we go back and look and see for ourselves?
With all the rubble still burning hot, I doubt it's even in a fit state to start being cleared.
Well, I mean,
But, you know, if you want to try, by all means, it might be a bit amusing.
because if at all possible, I might be able to see what I can do about restoring them. But I'm not making any guarantees because that's kind of a dangerous thing to do.
Yes, I shall accompany you back to my home, and I'll have my rod, thank you, he says, holding his hand out to the other vampire. Now, if you'll excuse me, if you wish to continue the rest of your sermon, by all means. I'm sorry for interrupting, but I thought that the current events had been rather pressing enough for me to disturb you.
Also, what, Saphira?
Tom bows deeply to the two vampires, turns around and starts going towards his pile of gear.
Well, if we're gonna dig around in fire, have resist energy, that could maybe help.
Maybe, but
And I can make stuff old, but I'm not sure if it counts for really old stuff. I would have to try.
depends on how we. It depends on the condition that we find it in, really.
All we can do is go now. Oh boy.
Tom picks up all his gear, puts it all back on,
And then he
resumes
turns
going
to,
back out.
yes, then Mekhalvik turns to his gaseous form and returns home. Or at least what's left of it.
Oh, you're saying they're forts?
He's gotta be. Well, this has been an interesting day. Puppy, no.
Are we outside the church now? Like,
Well, yeah, I guess you would move and head out.
I'm so sorry. I thought it was like a known thing in this place.
It's fine, but the reaction that we got from you saying that kind of proves something here. Like Tom says, we don't know the entire picture.
Truffy's just kind of just grumbling. And
I'm lucky there are words that I don't understand.
You
French things.
forgot one of us. Odin.
well, I thought she would move herself, because she's here.
Sorry.
Okay. So I kind of had you dragged when you moved.
Oh boy.
So, you return to Mayovic House. I guess I should just put like a big flame over all of this.
Whoosh. Okay, so resist energy. I got 5 left today.
So I'm gonna move you to the front of the house.
So let's see. 10 minutes per level. Abjuration. Acid, cold, electricity, or fire. Subject gains an energy 10. So yeah, if we're gonna search around in embers, I guess I could cast it on everyone who's not a dog. And we can search in fire for an hour.
Okay, right, let's see.
Do you want a link?
Embers? No, I know this well.
Resist energy.
How is that embers? That is not embers. That's a freakishly small head.
Well, if you know how it works, I'm just gonna choose fire and we got an hour to search barehanded in embers.
Seriously, what is with this search though? Why does it keep bringing up the same shit that isn't related to the search?
Resist energy.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was trying to find the stuff needed for my session. I'm not sure what's up with that.
And that's how I mess up off of my spells. Like the omen shenanigans.
It's Slayer, map layer. I have some backgrounds.
Yeah.
Just gonna take this, and it's probably gonna look horribly pixelated, but I'm just gonna enlarge it.
Just have an idea that it's hell.
See, I won't enlarge it that much, I'll just copy and paste it a few times, I think.
So confirm on casting
what?
resist energy 5 times.
Where's redo? Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
I want to do that. But
Because that's a lot. Now I'm out of level 2 spells. Boy.
But on the way to Mayovic House, you see that Mayovic himself has gone ahead of you. And that's when you are approached by that rather well-dressed figure in purple and the 2 women with him. Excuse me, if we may speak to you a moment.
By all means.
I have no real reason to doubt her words at this point, but I am so curious as to what you meant by what you said. He says, approaching Saphira. What is looking at Saphira? I don't move that. Make a fucking...
Well, I didn't... Well... I know some magical beings depend on ambient magic. Bluff. Roll. What's my bluff? Top. Okay.
Oh dear.
I guess you noticed the flickering.
Perhaps it would be wiser, Saphira, just to tell them everything you know.
Oh.
Wait, I'm just gonna have him roll. Because he might believe you.
Oh.
Huh?
I very much doubt it, but let's see.
Beat a 12.
Does he believe
Don't beat a
you?
12.
Does he believe that the reluctant
No.
Kate's
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't believe you.
He believes
Yes.
every word, really.
I would appreciate it if you followed your comrade's advice.
Okay. Do you guys want to tell him, or should I try?
He asked you, Saphira.
Oh. Okay, well, long story short, the doll is just a proxy to the real girl. Because she's very, very sick.
Okay, continue.
And she's not the sole source of food, but she is one of them.
Which, might I ask?
Blood.
Hmm.
Her sickness makes her bleed a lot.
And
So,
You see, like, the younger of the two girls, at least in appearance, behind you, kind of put a hand to her mouth and kind of cough a little bit.
So without rationing, it would be possible to kill her by accident.
And how is this blood derived from her?
She just bleeds. There's like it's gathered in a pool under her bed.
She bleeds without any form of incision or other means to make her bleed?
The cuts just appear on her, from what I understood.
I see, so her bleeding is a natural thing. At least, which Jack was not causing her to bleed in order to
No.
produce the blood.
They don't know what the disease is, but they know what the symptoms are.
Alright, and I guess Jack was rationing her blood in order to make it so that she comfortably bleeds in order to feed us.
The assistant mentioned that sometimes she bleeds less, sometimes she bleeds more, so it's unpredictable.
Your well would have dried up, and an innocent would have died.
So you're saying that if we were to try and increase the rations, as the nobles intended to do, then little Marjolaine may perish.
Maybe.
It's not something we were informed of. And I can understand why Jack was so reluctant to inform anyone of how this blood is produced.
To be honest, I have no idea. I thought you all knew about that.
No, we did not. And I suppose it was to try and not put off certain people from being here. I suppose I can understand his reasoning.
I get the feeling that only one of the vampire lords is dealing with us honestly.
And which one may that be?
The one whose house was not burned down.
We shall see. I am not entirely sure about their honesty, especially after the news you have informed me, but I am going to return home and think on this. I wish you luck in your continued investigation.
Just continue to be nice to Marjolaine. Okay.
Yes, we will. My darling daughter here has known her for quite some time, since she was barely a baby, as it were. I know some of you might not think that vampires reproduce in such a manner that they would go through a childhood, but that is the way we have done it for some time.
Good evening to you.
And to you.
Jimmy just shrugs a little bit.
I'm a
Maybe.
Rurlock. Nothing surprises me.
And then
May you reach the wisdom that you seek.
then they turn and leave, and the daughter looks a bit distraught and is kind of leaning into the other one.
Oh.
Oh. Well, I guess she was gonna learn it someday.
Let's begin our work.
Sad Rurlock. So, plus 10 against fire, we can search now.
Okay.
For an hour.
Okay, Tom is going to go to where he remembers the basement that they fell into was.
Oh, I was on the wrong tool.
Stomp, 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 stomp.
Stop stomping! That was a bad
Here.
idea in the first place.
Of course, there's a
Sorry.
bit of a drop before there. You had to drop down into the basement, though there are some
Yep.
parts that act as ramps.
Yeah, he's going to that area and he's going to search and take 20 on it.
I cannot walk without stomping. I'm too heavy.
Kiki's staying out here. She's not. No, I mean, Tuffy's staying out here. She's not helping that arsehole.
At this point, technically, neither is Tom, but
I just want to do the right thing, and there's a lot of things I don't understand.
okay, taking 20 on a perception check will give a 26.
Okay.
I'm searching too, so do I roll my perception?
No, if you're taking 20, you just add 20. You add your perception to your 20.
29 then.
Genevieve is going to do the same over in this direction.
Searching for an hour. Doop-a-doop-a-doop.
Well, making your way through all of the rubble. And
By the way, Tom is searching for more than just the plans.
okay.
He's also searching for anything that might prove useful to his cause.
In this basement? Okay. Let's see.
His cause of finding out what's really going on. Not the overall cause.
Well, Saphira feels really bad because it's kind of her fault, so she's
You know-
focusing on the box.
I meant to roll a percentile, but when I hit enter, I was like, wait, I didn't do that right. Instead of rolling a D100, I put D20 plus 100.
Whoopsie!
And
Nice.
guess what I got?
120?
Yep.
We find everything!
You find that amongst all the rubble and the ruins, there is in fact one room that doesn't seem to have collapsed. In fact, there seems to be one room amongst the rubble that is actually made of stone, both in walls, ceiling, and floor.
Well, dang.
Clearly, this was a panic room.
Majovic, however, is just standing up there, looking down at you, going, "You found anything yet?"
We're still searching.
Hmm.
Okay, Tom is going to burn a key point,
Okay.
and he's going invisible.
Okay.
Oh,
And
dear.
Let's see, he's also going to try and open that door in quiet fashion, so I'm going to roll a stealth roll.
Stealth roll. Okay. I can still hear you down there, whatever you're doing.
I'm searching for a box.
Stomp, 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 stomp.
Yes.
Okay, he's doing important ninja stuff.
I'm doing important relic stuff.
You try the door, and you find that it does open, though it is quite heavy.
That's okay. That means it's not going to make noise if I open it slowly. Which is exactly what I'm doing.
Yes. Pushing the door open, you see that the room inside seems to have one table in the center, a rather fancy-looking candelabra, a single armchair in the corner, and what appears to be many, you know those bookshelves that are almost like wine racks because they're for scrolls?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some of those, and there's some that are just like regular bookshelves, showing kind of like the progression of scripture over the years.
Well, in that case, it's time for the stuffing sack to come out, and let's save some scrolls.
And there's also a vault door.
Lovely.
Stomp.
At this point, I think the scrolls are more important than the vault door. By the way, which vault number is it?
Oh, huh. Vault number 666.
Of course.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, okay. Now that he's got these scrolls, what would be the appropriate open a vault door that you don't have the combination to roll?
Disable device?
Ooh, I don't have that.
Do I have that?
I have a rank in it, so no, I do have it.
No.
E5.
Well, you do know someone who does have it.
Okay.
It's not me.
Well, Toffee has it.
Hehehe.
She's been your trap
we
master
need-
for that very long dungeon.
That's true. We need to get Tuffy or her device in here.
Well, I have got disabled device, but it's not very good.
How much?
6.
No better than mine, really. And I actually intentionally put a point into it.
I don't have.
So we need to get the ferret over here. Quietly.
Well, I did that derp in my spells. If we find anything, I cannot make them all, because make whole is the same level than resistance. We will have to wait another day.
Okay, so... Tom doesn't have long enough invisibility to go outside, so he's going to do a series of taps on the brickwork inside the safe room that what's her name?
Toffee?
No.
Sage Heart?
Sage Heart will recognize. It's basically telling her, go get Tuffy.
Okay.
Found something.
Be right back. Yeah. Ow.
Heading over for Tuffy. And let her know.
Huh? Oh. What? Nope.
Heading over to the Tuffy and letting her know that Tom wants her
Oh. Okay.
and her devising.
I don't think my doggy. I don't think Bruiser can go down there. Can you look after Bruiser while I go see what Tom needs?
I can do that.
Just heads over. When you got there, she was sitting there counting her silver arrows. She pokes her head in, just like, what do you need?
Tom by this point is visible, so he's gonna motion her over and point towards the vault.
Ooh! I have a friend here who should help me with this. I think it was like a +5 to the disabled device when just holding it rather than doing it at range.
Mm-hmm.
As Toffee. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-bum. Boom.
Damn.
Super toughy.
She basically works off the combination lock bit, and like the spider's tools go in there, and she's just fiddling around for it. And you hear sort of like click, click,
All right.
click. Dun, 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 dun. And the fucking door comes open.
Tom's going to do his best to quietly open the vault door and then look inside.
Well, you head inside, and what you see has even more dust in it than. Well, actually, no, it's a surprising lack of dust because of how sealed it was. Yeah, that's how things work, right?
Either way, Tom's got his mask back up because, yeah, burning soot.
Yeah.
It's almost like his mask serves a purpose beyond obliterating his identity.
Yeah. Alright, so you find in here a few displayed articles ranging from a suit of armor to various blades to what appears to be a heavily bound tome, as well as another table in here, a smaller one with a single simple chair, and what appears to be some form of rather thick journal sitting on it.
Tom's going to point Tuffy towards the books while he checks out the blades to see if any of them are familiar.
Okay.
After all, he has no idea how old this vampire is.
Let's have a look here.